All right, let's break down one of the most critical behaviors for your Level 6 Project Controls apprenticeship, B7, accountability. This one is absolutely key to your professional credibility, so let's get you ready to master it. To make this all feel real, we're going to follow the journey of someone named Jody. She's a Level 6 apprentice, just like you. By seeing how she gets to grips with B7, you'll have a crystal clear roadmap for mastering it yourself. So, here's the game plan. First, we'll define B7, then we'll use a really cool analogy to make it stick. After that, we'll see it in action, learn how to log it in APTM, and finally, get you prepped for those all-important final assessment questions. Okay, let's dive in. So our story starts with Jody meeting her coach, Olivia. Jody's heard about this whole B7 accountability thing, and honestly, it sounds a little vague, maybe even a bit intimidating. So Olivia starts by breaking it right down to its absolute core. Okay, so what is it really? At its heart, B7 is all about complete and total ownership. When you produce a report, a forecast, any kind of analysis, you're essentially saying, look, this is my work, I stand by it, and I am responsible for it. It's so much more than just running the numbers. It's about truly owning the output. And look, at Level 6, this is a total mindset shift. You're not just a processor of data anymore, you are the guardian of its integrity. This means being super transparent, fixing your mistakes without making excuses, and never, ever deflecting blame. It means that when anybody, has a question about that report, you are the final word. You are that single point of truth. Your name is on it, and your entire professional reputation is built on that trust. Okay, so Jody kinda gets the definition, but it still feels a bit, well, abstract. This is where her mentor, Adam, steps in, and he's got this awesome analogy to really make it click for her. And wow, this just reframes the whole thing perfectly, doesn't it? You're not just some crew member crunching numbers. No, you are the captain. The project leaders, the decision makers, they are using your navigation charts, your reports, your forecasts to make massive multi-million-pound decisions. And if your charts are off, the entire project, it could literally end up on the rocks. And think about it. As the captain, there is zero ambiguity. When it comes to the integrity of that data, that report, that forecast, the buck stops with just one person, and that's you. The responsibility is yours and yours alone. This right here, this shows the huge difference in action. You see, someone who's just presenting data might hide risks or, blame a bad data source. But the data captain? No way. They're upfront about limitations. They can defend their methods with confidence. And hey, when an error pops up, they own it, they fix it, and they tell everyone what the solution is. Okay, theory is one thing. Let's see how this actually plays out in the real world. So Jody's line manager, Rital, gives her a really important task. This is her chance to put that data captain idea into practice on a live project right there at IBIS stores. So to really build this behavior, Jody zeroes in on these 4 key steps. She starts really thinking about the impact of her work. She builds a super rigorous self-checking routine, and this is a big one, she starts building the confidence to stand by her findings, even when it's bad news that maybe stakeholders don't really want to hear. And then it happens. While double-checking her work, Jody finds an error in a forecast. Now, she could hide it. She could hope nobody notices, but nope, she acts like a captain. She proactively goes to her manager, Rital, and the key stakeholders. She doesn't just flag the mistake, she explains the fix and, this is crucial, she explains the impact of that change. Now that is B7 in action. Okay, so that whole experience, that was a perfect piece of evidence. So now her coach, Olivia, jumps in to guide her on the next vital step, which is how to actually capture this brilliant moment of accountability and log it correctly in her APTM portfolio. That system you'll be using to track all your progress. Honestly, you should think of this table as your ultimate cheat sheet for APTM. Your evidence needs to scream personal ownership. An email chain where you're correcting an error, just like Jody's, that's pure gold. A report with your name right there on the front is great. And getting some feedback from your boss or mentor, someone like Rital or Adam, that specifically calls out your reliability, that's just fantastic proof. But, and this is a big but, the evidence by itself isn't enough. Your reflective statement, that's where you connect all the dots for the assessor. You have to clearly spell out what piece of work were you accountable for, how did you check it and ensure its integrity, and what did you learn from the whole process. You're not just dumping a file in there, you're telling the story of your accountability. All right, the portfolio's looking good, But now we have the final hurdle, the endpoint assessment, the EPA. So Jody sits down with her mentor, Adam, and they start to role play that professional discussion to get her ready for the kinds of questions that are definitely going to come up. Listen, a question like this one, it is almost guaranteed to come up. It's a direct test of how well you get B7. So how do you absolutely nail a distinction level answer? Let's break it right down. Okay, a really top-tier answer is going to be built around phrases just like these. You start by claiming personal responsibility. You explain your process, how you validate data. You show what you do when things go wrong. You address them transparently. And you wrap it all up by explaining why it all matters, because it's about maintaining that critical stakeholder trust and helping them make good, informed decisions. Now, for a question like this, your real-world experience is absolutely everything. Just think back to Jody's forecasting error. That is exactly the kind of story you need to be able to tell. Use the STAR method if it helps, situation, task, action, result, but really lean into the action part. You really want to emphasize your ownership, your proactivity, and how you were the one who professionally handled the solution. This is your data captain moment, right there in the assessment. So from what started as a kind of vague concept, Jody has now turned B7 into a core professional value. She's completely mastered it. She gets it, she's lived it, and she can prove it. And by following her journey, you now have the map. You know what it takes to be the captain of your data ship. The only question left is, are you ready to take the helm?